In today's program, restrictions are easing in Bangkok and other dark red zones in Thailand starting from today, September the 1st. Meanwhile, anti-government protesters are planning rallies in the capital as the no-confidence debates in the Thai parliament kicks off its second day. And a prosecutor now says the former district police chief Joe Ferrari, who suffocated a suspect to death, did so intentionally. Details on these stories coming right up. You're watching Thailand News Today, where we report on the latest top stories happening in Thailand. Now, before we begin, we'd like to give a warm shout out to Judy Quinn for becoming a Tiger Legend member. Thank you for your support. And if you would like to support the channel as well, you can hit the join button to become a Tiger Legend. And now on to the news. Restrictions are easing in Bangkok and other dark red zones starting from today. This means that parks, sports stadiums, department stores, and other venues will reopen from the start of September. Restaurants, including ones inside shopping centers, will now be allowed to resume dine-in services, but only until 8 p.m. each evening. But both alcohol sales and having alcoholic drinks at restaurants is still prohibited. But once you've finished your meal at 8 p.m., you'll need to get home quickly because the 9 p.m. to 4 a.m. curfew still remains in effect. Convenience stores must close by 8 p.m. But the number of people allowed to gather together will increase to 25 people. Entertainment venues, schools, cinemas, water parks, and amusement parks, fitness centers, and arcades will remain closed. Across the country's 29 dark red zones, there also may be some local restrictions remaining, so you better check with your local media or ask a Thai friend for any local restrictions. Today's easings of restrictions also heralds the restart of interprovincial travel, both buses and flights. Dongmueang and Suvarnabhumi will now be restarting flights to many of the country's hubs, with at least 4 of the domestic airlines now keen to get you back on board. Depending on where you're traveling to and which airline you're traveling on, there could be different sets of requirements involving tracking apps, proofs of vaccination, or recent negative COVID test results. Just be sure to do your homework before pressing the booking button. The head of a regional prosecutor's office now claims the ousted Nakhon Sawan district police superintendent did intend to kill his drug suspect. Incriminating leaked CCTV footage of the interrogation that took place early last month shows the suspect with a plastic bag over his head as the other staff members looked on. A recently released autopsy report says the man died from suffocation, but police had earlier written off the cause of death as a drug overdose. Former station chief Thitisan Uttanapon, also known as Joe Ferrari for his collection of luxury cars, is accused of demanding a 2 million baht bribe from 2 drug suspects before using plastic bags to suffocate the 24-year-old man to death during an interrogation on August the 5th. The other suspect was allegedly ordered to stay quiet in exchange for her freedom. Thitisan was fired on August the 25th and arrested in the following days. Now, the deputy chief of the Region 6 Public Prosecutor's Office, Sompong Yenkao, says the death was not an accident. He says that the prosecutor and investigating officers also agreed that Thitisan and the 6 other officers involved intended to kill the suspect. He said that CCTV footage revealed that 6 layers of plastic were tightly twisted around the victim's neck for more than 6 minutes. Sompong noted that Joe Ferrari had claimed he was trying to get the suspect to reveal information, but says that the reason is inadmissible as it did not correlate with the torture of the suspect. Police in Bangkok are preparing for more anti-government protests today, with over 2,000 officers on duty to patrol rallies by 3 different groups. Today is day 2 of the no-confidence debates in the Thai parliament, aimed at the Prime Minister and 5 coalition ministers. The rallies are planned by 3 groups consisting of Rasadon Taliban, yes, that's their name, Ramkhamhaeng for Democracy, and Talukas, with each group meeting in different areas of the capital. Police have issued a warning that those participating in the protests could face charges of violating the Emergency Decree and the Communicable Disease Control Act. Moreover, officials say that activists gathering outside Parliament will be under close surveillance, and if they try and move onto the parliamentary grounds, they will face police armed with tear gas, water cannons, and rubber bullets to drive them back. Over recent months, in the latest rounds of protests, 644 protesters face various charges, 374 of whom have already been arrested. Meanwhile, the Thai PM Prayut Chan-o-cha says investigations are ongoing to determine who is behind the protests, implying that unknown elements may be providing support to activists. 18 people have been arrested following a birthday party last night in Pattaya. The party was, again, a violation of the Emergency Decree and Disease Control Act, with the gathering allegedly consuming alcohol in a group of more than 5 people. That's 2 strikes under the emergency decree. Police arrived at the house located at the Pool Villa Resort around 11 p.m. following complaints from neighbors. Police say they found 16 men and 2 women listening to music and drinking alcohol. The group consisted of 11 Thais and 7 Lao nationals. They also found small quantities of crystal meth, ecstasy, and ketamine. Despite their apparent interest in pharmaceuticals, none of the birthday party guests had been vaccinated against COVID. Police invited all the party guests to the local police station for further legal proceedings. A coffee shop employee has sustained serious injuries after he was attacked by 2 men while he was at work. The coffee shop was not identified. The incident happened in Sirasha in Chonburi province. CCTV footage captured the assault. The victim has been identified as a 23-year-old man who is now at a local hospital receiving medical treatment for his injuries. The young man told police that the assault happened at a coffee shop at a PTT petrol station opposite Mari Wit School. He said that one of the assailants is a co-worker's boyfriend. The victim added that he and the co-worker only have a work relationship. Police say they will examine the CCTV and will continue to investigate the attack and will find the culprits. And that is all for the reports that we have for you in this program, but be sure to subscribe to the channel and check out the rest of our channel to stay on top of the latest stories in Thailand. Meanwhile, you're up to date on the Tiger.